Hey guys, Sigmund with Cool Kyle.
Cool Kyle.
And it's great to be back. Today I'm going to throw this out at Kyle because we know that great songs are like great stories.
They make you feel something.
They make you feel something. You know what? The story I'm going to read today, it's going to be kind of goofy and silly.
Okay.
So we brought out the banjo.
Yeah.
And what do you got to fit that mood? Okay, keep it going, keep it going. From Justine McKean, Walk the Talk, Chapter 7, we're going to read to you just a bit. Justine needed a parent volunteer. She went down the street after school to Sidney Martin's house. It had a fenced yard and a gate. Justine opened the gate and saw Sidney's little brother Adam sitting in the grass with a cat in his arms. "Hey, Adam," Justine said. "Hey, Justine," Adam said, "can you hold my cat for me?" "Sure," Justine said. "I like cats." "Thank you." Adam gave the cat to Justine, and Snuggles began to purr in Justine's arms. Let's stop right there. Thanks for the intro. See you next week.
All right, we'll see you.
And now we're going to get back to Justine. So far, it's pretty boring. We have Justine McKean after school in a front yard holding a cat. And a story doesn't begin until a problem begins. Who, what, where, when. Introduce the problem, the why, the what next, the how. So I'm just going to back up a bit and see if I can make this interesting for you. "Hey, Justine," Adam said, "can you hold Snuggles for me?" Justine sat beside Adam. "Sure, I like cats. Thank you." Adam gave the cat to Justine. Snuggles began to purr in Justine's arms. Adam reached over and lifted the cat's tail straight in the air. Right now, put up your hand, even though I can't see you. Put up your hand if you want me to keep going once you have that image of a kid holding a cat's tail straight in the air. Good. Glad to see so many hands went up. So my second question is this. How many of you made a prediction as to what was going to happen next? Because when you read, good readers end up making those predictions and then learning from the conclusions. So just before I get back to the story, I want to talk about something you may not have heard of before. Our brains are prediction machines. Every single moment we're trying to anticipate what happens next. I'm not talking just in books, I'm just talking in general. There's a guy who is the world's greatest hockey player. And even as I say that, some of you right now are making your own guesses. You're predicting what name I'm going to say next. The world's greatest hockey player. He wasn't a really fast skater compared to all the other skaters around him. He wasn't really strong compared to the other skaters. He certainly wasn't very tough compared to the rest of the people in the NHL. Yet he was the world's greatest hockey player. And again, I think right where you're sitting, you're trying to predict, who am I going to say next? I'm sure you've heard of him. His name is Wayne Gretzky, and it's pretty safe to say there weren't many players who were better. So here's the big question. What made Wayne Gretzky great? Not a fast skater, not strong, not very tough. His slap shot wasn't even that good. I love the way Wayne answers the question. Please listen very carefully to this part. He said, "I don't go to where the puck is, I go to where the puck is going to go." What set him apart from every other player in history? His brain was the best prediction machine in all of hockey. For all of you, whatever you're doing, if you can figure out what's going to happen next, isn't that going to help you out? When you learn to drive, if you can anticipate the problems, it's going to help you. What does that have to do with reading stories? Well, let me get back to Justine McKean and the cat with the tail in the head. Justine sat beside Adam. "Sure, I like cats. Thank you." Adam gave the cat to Justine. Snuggles began to purr in Justine's arms. Adam reached over and lifted the cat's tail. "What are you doing?" Justine asked. Right now, you're making a prediction, and very soon your prediction's going to be answered. And here's what I have to say. Reading is so much fun because you get into stories. But every single chapter that you read has a problem that leads you to make predictions, and then you get the answer to see if your prediction was correct. I'll say this really fast, and I may get my math wrong. Say you read 20 books a year, 20 chapters per book. You are reading 400 chapters a year. And if you're in grade 5 and you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you have 7 years ahead of you. 7 times 400 is 2,800. All you need to do is read a little over a book and a half a month, and by the time you get out of grade 12, you will have had 2,800 situations where your prediction machine was tested and you learned something new. Why was Wayne Gretzky so good? He could see the plays unfolding in front of him. How is that going to help you when you read 2,800 problems and get 2,800 answers to 2,800 predictions that you made? I think it's pretty obvious the information that you store in your head through all of those predictions as a good reader is going to help you. Back to the cat. Snuggles began to purr in Justine's arms. Adam reached over and lifted the cat's tail straight in the air. "What are you doing?" Justine asked. Oh, one last thing. When you're a story ninja, your job is to fool your teacher's prediction machine. If something happens that your teacher doesn't expect, your teacher will love it. Now, there was great danger in saying that, because in the rest of the story, if you already predicted what's going to happen next, well, then I failed. Let's see if I can fool your prediction machine, and I promise I won't stop. Snuggles began to purr in Justine's arms. Adam reached over and lifted the cat's tail straight in the air. "What are you doing?" Justine asked. Adam used his other hand to point at the cat's rear end. "Look," he said, "Snuggles is chapped, just like my mom's lips are dry." Adam kept holding the cat's tail straight in the air. He took a tube of chapstick and he rubbed it on the cat's behind. "Oh," Justine said, "I don't know if that's a good idea." "I do it all the time," Adam said. That's when the door to the house opened and Mrs. Martin walked down the steps. "There you are, Adam," she said. "I've been looking everywhere for you." Justine handed the cat to Adam and stood. "Hello, Mrs. Martin. Did you get my email about a parent volunteer?" "I can't remember," Mrs. Martin said. "I am very busy." Then Mrs. Martin looked at Adam. "Hey, that's where my chapstick went. Give it back, please." Adam handed Mrs. Martin the chapstick. "What do you need a parent volunteer for?" Mrs. Martin asked. As she spoke, she took the lid off the chapstick. She raised it to her lips. "Don't do it," Justine said. Too late, Mrs. Martin smeared the chapstick all across her lips. "The chapstick," Justine said. "Adam just used it on Snuggles." "Ooh," Mrs. Martin said. "He put it on Snuggles' mouth?" "No," Justine said. "The other end." Justine McKean walked the talk. Go to our Writer-in-Residence website, download the book, read it on any device, and hopefully it'll show you, as a story ninja, I did my best to make you giggle and gross you out a bit. Thanks so much. You guys go be story ninjas and have fun messing with your teachers, as long as the story is appropriate for your audience. Until next time, see you later.